everybody. Welcome to another edition of Kicks Over Coffee. This is, I think, what we're going to call the espresso version. This is a 2 or 3 minute hit, 1 shot, 2 shot, maybe 3 shots. I'm joined with Gary Rains. We're talking the employment numbers. Gary, maybe this is apropos to our discussion, but I'm drinking a cold brew called Punch in the Face. So with that, the employment numbers came out today. Walk us through what you saw with those numbers and how they relate to what's going on in footwear retail.
Certainly. We see that the shoe store employment numbers improved over the last couple of months, but are still down substantially year over year. Really, the latest reading shows that the broader economy, jobs across the broader economy, also is rebounding to its highest in the post-pandemic time, much as shoe store employment is rebounding to its highest level in the post-pandemic time, but it's still down at a double-digit decline, something like 23% year over year for shoe store employment.
So the thing about the data that we see with shoe store employment is that it's delayed from the overall retail report that comes out. So we just got August's numbers. We don't have August yet for footwear retail, but the August numbers do give us a hint for broader retail about what's going on. What are some of the takeaways as it relates to what we think is ahead of us when it comes to footwear employment?
Sure. The footwear employment numbers had, of course, collapsed during the height of the pandemic in April and May, and have begun to improve a bit since, largely in kind of co-movement with what has happened with shoe store sales. Of course, we still see that shoe store sales, as you said, are down at a double-digit year-over-year rate, as is shoe store employment. While improving over the last couple of months, again, still down at a double-digit year-over-year rate. Taking things a step further, we see really that there's broad declines across in employment across most of the retail spectrum, other than in some essential areas like home improvement, grocery stores, and mass merchant retailers. Everyone else is largely seeing declines in employment. The total retail space is down about 3.8% from a year earlier. But specific to footwear and clothing stores, we're seeing the largest double-digit year-over-year declines in those two areas. I think that's not only a function of the pandemic itself, but more specifically to less need for replenishment for back-to-work wear with everyone working from home these days.
Yeah, so it's something to keep an eye on as we make our way into the fall. We're in the height of back-to-school season right now. It's a back-to-school like we've never seen before in our lifetimes. Gary, thanks for those updates and those numbers. Folks, if you want access to that report, you just go into the Intel Center and you'll find it there as an FDRA member. If you're not a member, just reach out to us, info@fdra.org, and we'll be happy to set you up with an account. Gary, thanks again for your time, and we'll see you on the next Kicks Over Coffee.